Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
All right. In this video, I'm going to share with you 7 things they don't tell you in the corporate world. Okay. Now, I get this very often. I get critics of mine who literally say, "What the fuck do you know about the corporate world? You're not even working. Look at your face and look at your this and look at your that." All I can tell you is, with whatever limited experience I've had in the corporate world before my tattoos and all that, um, and even after getting the tattoos, I have spent tremendous amount of time with decision makers, CEOs of not billion-dollar companies or big companies, but of corporate companies. And I always approached them as a student. I would always ask them very tough questions, questions that nobody would ask. And they were very happy to oblige because obviously I looked very different. And uh, because I was dealing with them for high level projects, and we kind of had a trust, a bond. They would open up and share with me plenty of things. And over the years, as I've kept in touch with these individuals, I've learned. Okay. So I'll give you these 7 points. You can tell me if you think I'm right or wrong, and do add your input, because end of the day, it's about the people who watch these videos and read the comments. Maybe we can offer them something of value. So feel free to disagree with what I have to say, but do let me know if you disagree, what is the right answer. Okay. And if you agree, you can share a few examples. All right. So these are the 7 things that people generally don't tell you about the corporate world. 7 things. The first one is, if you have to succeed in the corporate world, if you really have to succeed, the first most important thing is you have to be comfortable with dirty office politics. Now, office politics is in itself not very nice. It's dirty. But here, the reason why I put dirty office politics is to emphasize that you're talking of politics which can really be downright ugly, hideous, and unbelievably, like, you can literally say immoral. Okay. And you have to be very comfortable with it. You have to know how to manage it. You have to literally feel that it's normal. Like, I'll give you a small example, okay, to make you understand. This actually happened, and this was a VIP event which was hosted by who I cannot remember, but it was at Jumeirah Beach Hotel. And B.R. Shetty was one of the VIPs who was coming there, B.R. Shetty and some of the big guys. I didn't have tattoos. I was wearing a suit and all that. I was with the CEO of this company. Okay, I was accompanying him. So what had happened was, I'm a young guy. I'm in early 30s, I think before my 30s, around 29 or whatever. So I was wearing a suit and I was standing there, big puffy guy with, big muscles and steroids. I look like a powerlifter. And I was standing there, and as we were networking. We go to such events to network, not to eat or the thing. That whatever is there is good. I still love eating anyway. So there was this particular lady, I remember her very well dressed, not sexy, not beautiful, but you could make out mature in terms of her age. She must have been 40 plus. She definitely looked like a executive top level secretary. And she really, her body language and the mannerisms in which she was dealing with other men clearly showed she knew how to handle people. So, as we were talking, couple of guys were standing there, and she was also talking. She was talking, she was leading us. And I can't remember what is her name or what was her designation, whatever. So as she was talking, we were all listening. And then whenever I noticed, whenever anyone was talking, she would completely look at that person. Okay? Means she would give so much of attention, the person enjoyed talking more. So when I started to talk, even I wanted to feel important, I guess. So as I was talking, she completely started looking at me. And you know what happens as people are talking, people leave, and then the big circle, people started leaving. Maybe what I was talking was boring or whatever. People were leaving. So it was hardly one person was there, or two people were there, and it was her listening to me, and she was facing me. So as I was talking, very happy that she's given me the attention, suddenly someone came. I do not know who that was. It was a guy with a suit, and you know, and he had like VIPs, like bodyguards, and there was a big Emirati guy. So obviously they were big shots. I do not know, to this day, I do not know who that person is, but big shot. So the minute she saw him, okay, the minute she saw him, now imagine, she was very interested in talking or listening to me, and I'm talking and she's paying attention. The minute she saw him, she didn't even wait for me to conclude or finish. She didn't wait. She just, as if I didn't exist, she just turned around and walked off. Serious. She just turned around and walked off. And I was like, I was like, just imagine I'm talking to her and she just walks off. And like, I looked at this guy, I looked at this guy. I didn't know what to say. Like, even these guys could actually feel the embarrassment that I was going through. I was like, okay. So she just left. And eventually, even these two guys, they didn't seem very interested in listening to me. And they also walked off. And I was like, okay, fine. All right. And I'll tell you, she walked off. I was still looking where she went. And she went where this guy said, how are you? Oh, it's so nice. And blah, blah, blah. And she started talking to him and he was talking to her, that VIP. And then the same attention that she was giving me, she gave him, and he was glued to talk to her, the Emirati guy. So she formed a new circle. Now, I know this might look like a very silly incident, but did you see what actually happened? Like, all the while, I was under the assumption that she was very interested to talk to me, and she didn't give a flying fuck. The minute someone else came, it was like, bugger off. I don't give a fuck who you are. And she was very comfortable doing that. So the point I'm trying to tell you is that the nature that she showed is the game that is played in office politics. Okay. There's a lot of, like, when you see a big guy, a big shot, you pretend like you're very happy. You are very nice to this person and you'll be nice to that person. But when you know that this person is more powerful, you'll completely ignore. So you need to be comfortable with dirty office politics. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. It goes many layers lower, which is a video in itself. But the first thing I want to tell you is you need to be very comfortable with office politics and you need to know how to manage it. She was very comfortable managing all this. She didn't give a rat's ass who said what. She knew how to play her cards well. Okay, number one. Number two is, same example. You might say that she was very fake, but you need to be comfortable being fake. Because it's not only you who's fake, almost everybody you deal with is fake. Like, have you gone to a party or a get together and you have met people who say, oh, wow, how are you doing? It's so nice to see you. And, they'll just brighten up. And then you'll see the other, hey, it's so nice to see you. And they'll shake hands and, hey, and they'll pose for a photograph. And, hey, it's great seeing you, great outfit and this and that. And the minute they like break the eye contact, they're smiling. The minute they break the eye contact, it's like the smile vanishes and you're like, if you look at their faces, you'll be like, you're, what happened to your smile? You're seriously disgusted with this person. It's obvious you don't like this person. You can literally see it on their face, but they put on an act of facade. And this fakery, as you call it, is a commonplace in the corporate world. Like, when you are in a position of power, when you're a decision maker, when you're of some benefit, they will be exceptionally sweet and nice to you. The day you lose that, you'll just feel like, man, I thought I knew this person. Like, who is this person? They'll act like something you've never seen before. So you have to be comfortable being fake, because you'll deal with fake people and you need to be fake along with them. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, this almost everyone says when they're applying for a job or when they're working in a company. They say that person, oh, she's bending over, or he is ready to kiss his ass, or this or that, which is very true. You have to kiss ass. And what do I mean by kiss ass? You have to nurture the person's ego. You have to make them feel like they're incredible. You have to say things which are like, oh, they'll feel like 1,000. Like you, and sometimes this kiss ass goes to the extreme where they even are ready to sleep with the boss or the decision maker just to achieve, their objectives. And it's a sad thing, but remember, in the world of power, in the world where people want to reach that particular level, if you don't do this, you can't succeed. And case in point, you could give the best example is the media industry or the movie industry. You know, casting couch. Like the guy, if you have to get the role, you have to sleep with this guy, then you have to sleep with that guy, you have to do sexual favors, or you have to bribe people. All this goes on. So you can say goodbye to your ethics and morals. So, but it comes under the category of kissing ass and being fake. All this. Okay, so you understand. Say bye to your ethics and morals. Number 4 is you have to, in order to be at a position of power. Oh, by the way, you can even say goodbye to your ethics and morals as a different point in itself. Maybe I should have mentioned this, but anyway, I'm sharing it with you. The next point, number 4, is you have to learn how to manage egos. You have to seriously learn how. They say managing people, right? It's not actually managing people. You are dealing with people's egos, people's wants, people's desires, people's dreams, and you need to know how to play with it in order to stay at the top. See, remember, for example, someone below you, what does he want? He wants to get a better salary, to climb up. He wants to get recognition, respect. He wants to know that dealing with you, he'll get some benefit. So you have to utilize this information to your benefit. It can be involved fake promises or keep their hopes alive or whatever. So people lower than you and people above you, they want to feel like they're the greatest things since sliced bread. They want to feel that you're there to serve them, not the management, serve them. So you have to manage all these people. And then let's say at a particular level, you'll have A, B, C, D. All may hate each other. You need to manage A without offending B, without offending C, without offending D. And when you're with B, same thing. When you're with C, same thing. Maybe when you're with A, you have to literally let them know that I'm loyal to you, you're the best, nobody else matters, without actually saying it. Then when you go to B, same thing, D and E. And each one should feel, oh, he is loyal to me, not to others. He hates all of them. So you need to manage all these people. So as you climb higher, you have to manage the people at the top and the people down below. Okay. And, my students and my clients who I manage, the higher you go, the more delicate it becomes. It becomes crazy, seriously. Number 5, this is very, very important, extremely important. And I tell my clients and students, never, ever outshine the boss. Just don't. Let the boss take credit. Let the boss shine. Let the boss get the recognition. You work and you give everything to the boss. No problem at all. Don't try to outshine the boss. Like, for example, there is a meeting. Your boss is you are here. Don't give a suggestion. Let's say a director is there or CEO. Don't give a suggestion where you're looked upon as smarter and the boss just keeps quiet. It is much better you give the suggestions to the boss. Let the boss take your idea and shine. Why? Because if the boss shines, the boss will take you with him or her. But if you try to outshine the boss and the boss really feels it, you can be rest assured your life is going to be made miserable. Because always remember, the reason why this person is your boss is because they have greater influence and greater control. And very rarely in management do they support someone lower than someone who's higher, unless, of course, they have an exceptionally bad track record. Okay. So, number 5, never try to outshine the boss. Number 6, you remember I told you about ethics and morals, right? Okay. It's not about doing what is right. Many times we hear, whether it's the CEO of Microsoft or Tim Cook of Apple or whatever, they say do the right thing, values society, and give back to, the community. Here's the reality. It's not about doing what is right. It's about doing what the management wants. Now, there have been companies like Arthur Anderson and Enron that have gone bankrupt, okay, because they did what the management wants. They didn't do what was right. Agreed. But let me give you a simple example. Imagine you go against the management. Do you think you're going to have the job? Simple question. Think you're going against the entire management. And you say, no, I'll stand up for what is right. I'm going to fight against you. You will be in trouble. Either the best thing to happen is termination. But the worst thing to happen is they do something or another to jeopardize your career, your name, your reputation. And many a times, these guys, who are in positions of power, they'll make sure that they remain safe. And if they have to destroy people like you who are righteous, they'll have no qualms about it. And in a perfect world, values, ethics, morals always works. Sadly, we don't live in a perfect world. And the best example for this is especially the pressure of earnings, stock prices up and down. There's so much of pressure. You think they have the tendency to tell the truth and take the risk of, let's say, their business crashing or the stock market prices crashing? Simple. Pharmaceutical industries, the fast food industry, the military industrial complex, these industries. You think they're telling you the truth about what medicines do? Can medicines help? You think they're interested in making medicines cheap or maximizing shareholder value and profits? It's very simple, man. You know what the answer is. So it's not about doing what is right. It's about doing what the management wants. And last, if not the least, what the management will never tell you is if you want to stay safe and be taken with the management, do your work, but don't be concerned who gets the credit. There are so many times, especially in the Middle East, you have Indians who are working technically very sound, but they might have a Gora boss, white boss, or a Westerner, or they'll have a Emirati. So you're working, you're put hours and hours getting all the reports and technical stuff and everything else. And the boss will say, can you submit the report? Okay, fine. Then when the owner of the company comes, don't be surprised if the boss presents the report. He might even tell you, you don't need to be here. You go back to your desk. And he will sit with the boss and he will show, see, it's done. And the boss will say, hey, fantastic. You did an amazing job. In fact, this happens with the engineering companies. They have all these Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Sri Lankans who work very, very hard. The boss can be either someone from the West, or he can be an Egyptian or Misri or Syrian or Lebanese or whatever, Emirati. When the sheikh comes to inspect the project, all this while, the Indians, Pakistanis, Sri Lankans, all were working hard. But on the day, the inauguration of the project, they will tell them, you guys can take an off. You don't need to come to work. And all the big bosses, they will be there with a suit and tie. They will show the project being completed and the handover. And they will get a pat on their back. They will get a shake hand. They'll get a photograph. Everything will be focused on them. And the glory goes to them. They completed the job. They will not acknowledge who actually did the job. So if you want to remain in your job position, you'll have to be comfortable knowing that your hard work, someone else will take credit. So if you have to survive in the corporate world, It shouldn't matter to you who gets the credit. Just keep doing it, because as long as you're comfortable with this, they will keep you there. And when they grow, they will take you along with them. Otherwise, if you're not comfortable with this, then you shouldn't work. So these are the 7 key things that they don't tell you in the corporate world. You let me know. Do you agree, disagree with what I've said? And yeah, feel free to add a little bit of your thoughts, because remember, the corporate world, the world of power, position, money, this means a lot to some people. They give their entire lives, their goal, their dream, their vision, their sense of self-worth is this. The designation is the money is, and they are not ready to let go. That is why someone who has a top position, he will hold on to it with his dear life and is ready to do anything and everything just to keep that job. So that is why you might be smarter, you might be better, you might be hardworking, more qualified, everything. But if you don't follow these 7 unspoken rules, I doubt you're going to rise to the top in the corporate world. So let me know your thoughts. Do you agree, disagree? I would love to hear what you have to say. And if I missed out on any point, feel free to add. I would definitely be reading it. Having said that, when he's signing off, do comment down below. Take care, guys.